Hey guys, Crypto Trav here, and I wanted to talk to you about cryptocurrency of Bitcoin. So, what is Bitcoin? How does it work? Why is it here? Why do people like it over other cryptocurrencies? So, first of all, it was, I suppose, the first. It's the juggernaut cryptocurrency, been around since 2008, 2009, and it's currently worth 183.9 billion US dollars. If That's how much essential currency is being put into it. It has a capped volume or a maximum amount of bitcoins, which is 21 million. I think that's one thing that people really, really like. So, of course, I've spoken about the blockchain, and I've spoken about cryptocurrency a little bit, and the fact that it's a distributed ledger, so it's quite safe, it's easy to use, it's decentralized, so it's not being controlled by anyone or a company or a bank. You can trade it around the world, so it's quite practical like that. So that's some of the really, really key and interesting and fundamental parts. But when we think about a capped currency, I want to think about what the opposite of that is. And the opposite of that is where we can keep adding more currency. So at the moment we have inflation, and inflation goes up on a few factors. We have the GDP, but we also have to manage how much money is also being printed, and governments have certain rules about how much they can print, but they're still adding more of that currency every year. And it's not backed by anything. It used to be backed by gold. Now there's other data and other algorithms they run off to figure out how much they want to print to make sure they're not going to affect the economy. But if you were to say, get 10 grand, stick it under your mattress, in 10 years' time, the purchasing power of that 10 grand is going to diminish. So you'll have essentially the value of less money, even if you have 10 grand. So if we think years and years ago, you could buy a house for just a few dollars. Going back 30 or 40 years, you could buy a house for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And now you will be buying houses for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So that is essentially the effect of inflation. The value of that money, or the purchasing power of that money, diminishes. So the cost of things increases. So if you have a capped amount of money, or Bitcoin as it is, or cryptocurrency, digital currency, the value of that is just intrinsic to the market use. So the more it's getting used, the more it's valued. The value of that currency is going to increase. The less it's used, the less it's valued, it will decrease. And it is also proof of stake, so people, it's constantly being proofed by computers and machines. So there's a lot of effort going into keeping this currency alive, and it's distributed equally between anyone who wants to be involved and has that hardware. So that makes it quite an interesting form of currency, and it opens a lot of space for a lot of new technologies. And the fact when you expand blockchain, you can write contracts and different things into it. It makes it a very, very cool and exciting thing. It is definitely in its infancy. If we think about, back when we were using dial-up internet, in my opinion, back in 90s internet. So we still have a long way to come before it is really heavily integrated into our society. But I think, like any new technology, if we can get into it, start to get our hands dirty with it, play with it, we can learn about it, learn its uses, and benefit from it. Being one of, we're not now the early adapters. That's happened over the last 8-9 years, but still one of the early follow-on adapters from that first bunch of adapters. And it looks potentially like there may also be some financial reward, as well as just some fun learning about the future of the world and blockchain technologies. So I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to what Bitcoin is. I forgot to mention, but I'll mention now, that of course you can buy things, you can trade with Bitcoin. You get someone's Bitcoin address, you send them a value of Bitcoin, it goes to their wallet. It takes a few minutes to be proofed through the blockchain, but it gets there. It doesn't matter where in the world they are. So that's very, very exciting, and it works the same way back, which I think it's just fantastic. Of course, there is a small fee at the moment, but I think these things are always changing, and it's worth playing with and using nonetheless if you're able to use it more often. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will get back to your questions. I might need to make a video about some of those questions, and that's fine. If you like what I've had to say and like what I've had to share, hit subscribe. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you get access to more videos. Thanks again for listening. Take care. Bye.